drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, vintage frames on my face, looking like I'm from the D. D's no Cartiers.
Batteries? Which one? All right, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, March 2nd, and we should be live. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at the markets and see what we have going on today. We have GameStop is actually up again, 127.20, and that's up about 5.56%. So let's go over the screens of what we have online here. So first off, up at the top right, we're going to have whatever my screen is that we have you looking at, as far as the stock goes, or crypto, or teaching, or another website. So that will be the main screen. Down here at the bottom, we have two different indexes, and the top one is going to be the S&P 500. The bottom one is actually going to be what's called the VIX, or the volatility index. Now, the volatility index is important because it's usually inverse of the S&P 500. So if the S&P 500 is going up, then the VIX is going down. Okay, and so they're inverse of each other. So if we get a big market dump or something going on, then that'll be what we're looking at. Although I don't like those candles there. Hold on 1 second. There we go. All right, and we'll put those back up over there. So, hey, if you like the stream, go ahead and hit that follow, hit the like button, comment if you like it. I do have the chat up as well, and so we'll just go over some of what's going on in the markets. So some of the holdings I have, one of them has been really good for me, Ford, and I'm going to go ahead and go out to the daily chart on this one. And this is something that if you look back into November, even if you go to the weekly, has been a really, really solid performer. So bottomed out roughly around March when everything else did. And if you take a look and say, okay, well, what did we gain since then? You can see it's up ballpark about 165%. So it's had a really, really nice run. Of course, Ford is one of those manufacturers that are coming out with a lot more product as far as electric vehicles. They have their Mach-E. They're going for their all-electric Ford F-150 truck. So that's something to look forward to as well. So they've been performing really well. I expect them to further gain, and they are actually one of my long-term holdings. So I don't plan to do anything with that stock anytime soon, as it's really well. I guess my second favorite one right now is something. Let me go back over to symbol and go down. Is going to be USO. Now USO is a little different. USO is actually an ETF, an exchange traded fund, and what that means is it's kind of like a mutual fund. It has expenses, but it will also have a declining lifetime. So usually ETFs are leveraged. And it could be a leverage of like a 3-to-1, which means when the market goes up, your gains will probably most likely go up as well. And say they go up, maybe depending on what's happening. If the let's say the SPY, okay, if you had a SPY ETF and let's say it was leveraged 3-to-1, well, that means that if the SPY goes up 10%, you're going to go up 30%. Inversely, if the SPY goes down 10%, you're going to go down 30%. So the risk, you have to know what you're getting into. I happen to like U.S. oil because if you take a look at what oil prices have been doing, if you believe that inflation is going to start coming into play, then it's something that could end up being very good going forward. So one thing that we have right now is if you take a look at oil, this is basically light crude oil futures, and the light crude oil futures currently about 60.89. So let's just call that 60.86 per barrel, right? Per barrel of oil. And again, this is another one that oil prices bottomed out in March, but let's take a look at really when it started to happen. It started going up back in November. And since November, oil prices, light crude oil has gone up 55%. So what that means for you, you are going to start seeing that impacted for you at the pumps. And so if the gas price is going up, this is why. So the symbol on this one is CL1 exclamation point. but how that relates to U.S. oil. So remember, that was November 23rd, oil 55%. So if you look at U.S. oil, and let's go ahead and go back over to the daily, and let me scroll out over here, and if you take a look at that same time frame on U.S. oil, which again is an oil ETF, it's up 62.91%. So because these are futures contracts with U.S. oil, you can actually go on the website for the United States Oil Fund LP. It's a limited partnership trust, basically. What that means is that you can go onto their website, you can see how many futures contracts they actually buy and sell inside the ETF. So they're basically trying to outperform the price of oil. So as price of oil goes up, this ETF should outperform the price of oil. Now, if oil turns around and goes down, that means the downside may also be greater, but depending on the contracts that they futured or that they purchased. And a lot of times they're going to have the leverage that they have inside of this ETF, they're going to hedge it. And by hedge it, we've all heard hedging lately. What that means is they may take opposite positions to limit the risk of any downside potential. So if they do go down, they go down less. If they go up, they may not go up as high. So again, the leverage on this one appears to be a little bit over, let's say 1.2% or so, somewhere around that range. If it's up 15% higher than what oil has gone up in the same time frame as far as per barrel. So that's what's okay. So enough on that one. We'll come back into ETFs, and I'll probably end up doing a teaching video on those at some point. So check YouTube. It might be a live stream video that I do over on other platforms on Twitch, etc. It all depends. This is actually live streaming right now on both platforms, both Twitch and YouTube. And so it's something that we want to hit all the viewers. We want to help you out. And again, what this channel is about is hopefully providing market insights on stocks, on cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, Bitcoin. I said Ethereum first. We'll get into that as we get into the performance on that, as well as creating income streams. And what I've been able to do is create some multiple income streams, and I want to try and do that for you as well. So, and of course, I always have a good cup of coffee. Okay, all right. So let's also look and see what Bitcoin is doing today. And I'm going to go back over into the 30 seconds and go back up over here. And Bitcoin over the last, oops, come in again. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go further out and go to the 5 minutes. So what you'll see across the top here is I have different parameters set for the chart. So it can be, I can go as low as 1 second, and that depends on the subscription. The charting software I use basically allows me to go down that low. So we're on at, oops, let me go back over into the 1 hour. That'll capture the highs. Here we go. Okay, so Bitcoin was at the high way back over here, 58,274, and right now we are at, oops, why is that not locking in? There we go. It's down about 18% off of its high. Okay, so that's down 18% off of its high. And again, if you're invested in Bitcoin, I happen to invest in Bitcoin using Coinbase because it's a US-based exchange for the state that I'm located in. A lot of people use Binance. Binance, I'm in a state where you can't use Binance, but it is available. So there are different ones. There's Gemini. That's available in the U.S. as well. Again, most of my concentration will be on the U.S. type things, but you can certainly apply these to your own markets if you happen to be watching from somewhere else outside the U.S. So back over to Bitcoin, we'll go over to the five minute chart. Down here in the corner here, where it says it's up and down, it's down 4%. That's basically, I believe, on a 24-hour rolling. So that's one of them. Now, another cryptocurrency that I happen to participate in is Ethereum. And Ethereum, it's not Bitcoin. There's people that mine Bitcoin, and you may have heard that term before, and mined Ethereum. And at some point, again, I'll do a teaching stream on cryptocurrency as far as Bitcoin, Ethereum, where I might see them going. But of course, please remember, none of this is to be construed as financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. And so if you follow what I do, you'll probably lose your money. So if I do end up showing you some trades that I've done, or not that I'm going to do, but that I like and might participate in, don't follow trade somebody. If you follow trade somebody, what they're doing on their stream, chances are you're not going to do as well as they are because they've already made the play. But if you look at things investing for long-term trading, that's something different. I believe in Ford, for example. So an example on Ford is if you take a look at the weekly chart on Ford, or the monthly chart on Ford, you have support and resistance. So basically resistance is going to be high. So it might go up as high as 17 again on a high before it pulls back. It's been in a significant downtrend since 2014, but it's recovered from March and April of 2020. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good there too. So that's something that hopefully should be good for people going forward. Okay, so let's take a look again. Go back over to Ethereum again, and I'll make this bigger. Okay, oops. We'll go back over here, and let's go to the 5-minute. Okay. All right, so when you look at Ethereum operates differently, and it's one of those cryptocurrencies. It's the second largest cryptocurrency, and so let's say Bitcoin is its own cryptocurrency, and then you have Ethereum over on this side. Well, when you have Ethereum over on this side, and you have Bitcoin. They shouldn't necessarily trade together, but oftentimes they do. So if I looked at Bitcoin right now, flip over that chart, and I look at Ethereum and flip over that chart, you're going to see some similar things and some similar actions. So hopefully we'll go into some explanations as to what those are doing. But let's get to what's really going on in the market today as far as all the hype that's been going on over the last couple months over GameStop and AMC and BlackBerry and also Nokia. And so, but let's take a look at really just GameStop and AMC. AMC, of course, is not the networks. Be careful, you do not trade AMCX because AMCX is different than AMC. AMC Entertainment, this is the theater. Let me turn off the aftermarket and pre-market. So this is a 5-minute chart. So currently AMC is at $8.93. It's down about 2.72% on the day. That's from the close yesterday. And of course, the markets, they're open from 9:30 Eastern time to 3 o'clock Eastern time, 4 o'clock Eastern time, where I'm located, Pacific time. So my hours are 6:30 in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So the goal of the channel is we're going to try and stream for at least the first hour and a half, 2 hours of the market each morning, and then maybe come back and trade the last hour of the market and give some updates as to what went on in the market today. So that's kind of where we're at. So back to GameStop and AME. Okay, so GameStop, we checked the news, and not much. You're gonna get social stuff on there as well. One of the headlines: GameStop trades lower as Wall Street bets stocks mixed. And we can pull that up and let's take a look at this. So GameStop shares reversed the trend of the past several days and traded lower early Tuesday, which we knew. Shares were down 2.4% in pre-market trading. And then it says, in the meantime, Wall Street Bet's Reddit forum shows another stock as a favorite, Rocket Company, which was up 10% early Tuesday. So RKT. American Airlines was trading higher, and other Wall Street Bet stocks were down, including AMC, Palantir, Nokia, BlackBerry, and Tesla. So they're calling all of these stocks, Reddit stocks or Wall Street Bet stocks. What I've experienced is, to a certain extent, yes, that will create the social buzz around a stock. But the larger players that are really moving these markets, you have to remember that if there's Robinhood that's against the stock, or Citadel, or Melvin Capital, or other hedge funds that bet against it, there's probably going to be some other hedge funds that bet against the other hedge fund managers. So because they're all competing for that money, right? They want that money for themselves. So you can't always believe everything you read and simply not everything you see on the internet. But when people buy into something, so like a GameStop, which is up, 3.7% or so, and you can see just on the day here, this is this morning, that's where it's at. That's where it started at today. So it is something that, when we take a look at what kind of a trend that might be in, you can certainly see that it's got some opportunity there. So so definitely on an uprise, at least from over the last couple days or so. So it's climbing back, which is good, because I do own both. I own Bitcoin and Ethereum both. Ethereum is actually my favorite. I believe it has outperformed Bitcoin over the last year. And hey, if you're in the chat on either of the platforms, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. I do have them both open so that I can answer selectively some questions if you have some. So just throw them in there if you like, and we'll do the best that we can to answer your question. So let's take a look. One of the things they were looking at was Rocket, right? So Rocket is up 21% today, so look at that. And of course, if we go to the news on that as to why, social buzz. This is what's driving it. When you see something like this and you see somebody bought something, and let's say that they think that, or they've done very well with that particular stock or cryptocurrency, whatever they're trading, a lot of times they're trading on what's called momentum. Now, momentum says, hey, what's going on over here? If we look at yesterday, March 1st, and the time frame on this one was 6:30 in the morning yesterday, and it rose up, and you said, well, that looks interesting. What's going on there? And you say, okay, well, let's take a look at this. Well, when did they report earnings? Well, they reported earnings, I believe that was a couple, estimate here. They beat their earnings for the fourth quarter, which is good. The next time they report, that's weird, it doesn't say. Usually gives me the date in there. June 2nd is the next time that they report. So Rocket Company is doing very well, up 21%. Should you buy it right here on the off chance that it's going to push higher? That's outside my risk profile, but you can certainly see from when they went public last year, huge run up, and other than that, really isn't a lot of support and resistance. You have some resistance right here at this called $23 range, and you have support down here at 19. So you can say, well, if it always comes back to the mean, in other words, am I too late to buy that particular stock right now? Then when should I buy it? Well, the charts say from the time it's been trading that if it pulls back initially, it'll pull back into the 20s, low 20s, 23 or so, and then it could bottom out again. This might be an outlier because it kind of resettled all that one. There's a lot more support here at 1951. If I take a look at my brokerage account here, let's see here, and we go to the 5 minute. There we go. And we said on Rocket. Okay, so on Rocket, we're looking at, I was pretty close. So, let's see here. Okay. So yeah, support was 2305, support level 2, 2180, support level 3, 1982. Resistance, it broke through first resistance at 2503, broke through the second resistance at 2575, and now it's broken through the third resistance of 2773, and those are based on different moving averages that go into those support and resistance. The pivot point, again, I nailed it when I said, hey, what's it going to bounce down to? The pivot point is $23.77. And so what that means is if it's going to come down, it could come down to somewhere in the $23 range, $23.77. So that's kind of what you look at over onto that one. Okay. All right. So, pardon me. Okay, let's take, so that one again. A lot of momentum going on that stock. 2031 up 20% today. This here, what you see is that after it made that big run, now it's going to decide what it's going to do. So is it going to stay and then break higher? This whole range here, since about 7 o'clock this morning, well over 2.5 hours ago, is in what's called a consolidation phase. And a consolidation phase basically means that it is consolidating. It's going to stay in that range until it decides what it wants to do. Whether it wants to go up or whether it wants to go down, it'll figure out somewhere in that range which direction it's going to take. Okay. All right, next up, let's take a look at the overall markets here. And I'll go into my 4-chart index. We're going to leave that one. Okay. All right, so the first one we have the, let me go back over here. Yeah, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the Dow is down about 13 points, so not a whole lot of movement on that one. You have the S&P 500 is down $1.14, 0.29%. Here's Squeaky Toy, that's my dog. We'll get her on stream too, so at some point, probably not today. The QQQ, basically the NASDAQ Composite Index is down 271 or 0.84%, and the Volatility Index, of course, is down 0.1. So that's interesting. So what that means is, again, they're inverse. So if you come back over here to the bottom right screen here, you take a look and you have the S&P 500. It's going up a little bit in a trend here since about an hour or so ago. It's been recovering back nicely, and so the volatility is going down. Volatility is just risk. It's a fear. You can call it a fear factor. And so if it's a fear factor, what are people going to, what are they afraid of? They're afraid of the market going up or down, right? So let's go back over into our 3-chart default. And usually what I'll have open is I'll have the main stock that I might be looking at, and then over here I'll have a 5-minute chart. This will be, this one's actually on a 5-minute chart as well, and then the daily chart also. So usually I'll have this one, I like the 30 seconds just because it gives me an idea of what's going on. Now, a lot of platforms that you might be getting your quotes on will either be delayed, or not only will they be delayed, but you won't be able to get lower than, say, 1-minute charts. Some of them are delayed 15 minutes. They might only give a daily chart and be reporting, once every 5 minutes or so. I pay extra so that I can have pretty much live stuff going on. So again, usually I'll have the 30-second, the 5-minute, and the 1 day, and then I'll have it up here like this. So that's Ethereum. So let's take a look at some of the movers on the day from the top side of some of the stuff I follow. Again, GameStop is up over 5%. Ford up over 4%. If you're into precious metals, I do like platinum and I like silver. Silver, there's a thing going on some of the Reddit platform called Wall Street Silver. And Wall Street Silver is trying to go out there and talking about short squeezing silver. Silver is a commodity. It is a physical value, which means that anytime that you give money to somebody, whether it's paper or a coin, you're actually, it's just, what is it backed by? It's backed by the government. Silver is actually silver. So silver per ounce, when we go to and look at silver, this is actually the this is actually the spot price of silver, so $26.74. So the spot price on silver, again, is $26.74. If you take a look at platinum, now platinum is a lot higher. Platinum is a more rarer metal. If you go to your next door sites on your neighborhood and look at crimes, all kinds of people are ripping catalytic converters off of cars and trucks. And one of the things is if you go over to Facebook Marketplace and you go to auto parts, you're going to see a boatload of catalytic converters. Why? Because people are stealing the catalytic converters and they want to sell the catalytic converters because of the precious metals that are in them. Palladium, rhodium, silver, platinum. Well, not silver, but platinum, rhodium, and palladium mostly are in catalytic converters. Well, if platinum is trading at $1,200 an ounce for the spot price, it doesn't take a lot to say, hey, if there's 1 ounce of palladium in a catalytic converter and you melt that down and you can separate the metals and get the palladium out of there for 2 ounces or a full ounce, you can go sell that platinum for $1,200. And so it's unfortunate that that's happening, and hopefully they'll figure out something to get those on there. Hey, if you like the stream, if you have any questions while we're streaming here, feel free to pop a question in the chat box, and I'll be happy to answer them. We'll probably be streaming for another hour or so here, and then we'll take a break, and we'll come back for the last hour of the market as well. You guys want to see my dog? Come here. Huh? Oh. All right, this is Liberty. Okay. Hold on a second. Camera, look, right here. Look, what's that? What are you doing? Good dog. Okay, down. Where's your bone? Go get your bone. Okay. That's Liberty. She's a good dog. Okay, so let's get back over to platinum. So again, platinum moving up. U.S. oil is on a nice run. And so if I click over here again, it's going to be an inverse, or it's going to ride along with what light crude does. So if you check Brent oil, crude, or different types of crude and stuff like that, light crude is up 27 cents per barrel today to $60.90. And so U.S. oil is going to go up when it goes up. So it's up 1%, where if you look at oil itself is up 0.41, but U.S. oil, which is an exchange traded fund or an ETF, is actually up 1%. And that's been performing fantastic. And the reason why I like U.S. oil and the reason why I like this ETF is it has a lot of what I would consider upside potential. And upside potential, this is one of my long-term holds that I love the stock, as it were. But there is a little bit more risk in trading ETFs. They're not like a mutual fund. They don't have as much holdings. Because it's an ETF, it'll basically, or an LP, limited partnership, it'll have specific investment guidelines that go over why they would buy, or what they're buying, as far as what oil contracts are they buying, what are they hedging, what are they carrying cash, what do they believe the markets will go up or down to over the near term, short term, and middle term of the market. So this is something, again, because it's long term, what's the opportunity? The opportunity I see on a weekly chart is this thing was back up over $300 back in 2014. It was as high as before the market dump in March. It got down as low as $24, but before that, it's trading about $128, and even then about $102. So right before the pandemic started, the pandemic started in January, or the situation started in January 2020. And then here we are in March of 2021, and the situation is still going on. So because of that, it has recovered quite nicely. But boy, what's going to happen? You can take a look and see that it's had a nice little run up over that time frame. When we get rid of the external, which is pre-market and aftermarket, since the bottom back, it's been climbing up very, very nicely. So that's a good long-term hold that I have. I actually love that one. Okay, bear with me one second. All right. Again, if you have a question, go ahead and throw it in the chat if you like, and throw a follow in there also. We'd appreciate that. And if you're over on YouTube watching this, throw a like, hit that bell notification, hit a subscribe if you like the content that you're seeing, and we'll be sure to go over there. So, okay. All right. Next up, let's take a look at. I want to take a look at the EV sector, and the EV sector is basically a lot of the electric vehicle ones, and the movers on the day. As far as that, you have Ride Motors, Baidu, Tesla. Hey, Liberty, come here. Hey, I'll be right back, folks. 1 second. Had the door open and the neighbor was outside, so she had to go say hello. So sorry about the barking. Okay, anyway, back to Alibaba, Tesla again going down here, 705. I actually sold my Tesla back at $663. And, in hindsight, I should have held it, sold it at a higher price, bought it back again lower. Hey, come here. That's for you. Where's your mom? Sit. Shake. There you go. Okay. Let's take a look at watch. All right, so now, again, GameStop is doing very well today. AMC is dropped down a little bit. Again, if you had been looking at all the hype that's going on around AMC and GameStop, AMC on Friday closed at options expiration. They were really trying to get that thing to close above $8 a share. And it did close above $8 a share. It closed at exactly $8.01, which means anybody that had options at $8 or lower for that expiration date were in the money. And what that means is that they were able to, if they chose to exercise their option to purchase the shares at a certain price. And so, I do have some AMC, but I have some AMC options. Basically, the options I have is I have 30 contracts bought at a $4 call price that actually expire on March 19th. And so I'm basically the strike price is in the money as far as that goes. And so that's hopefully that will work out over the next 3 weeks here until that one expires. So overall on the day, it looks like, yep, U.S. oil is doing pretty good there. Okay. All right. So AMC, again, they're down on the day. If you take a look at GameStop is up 5% on the day, 127.08. Some of the other movers, let's go to the chip sector. You have Intel, and Intel got a new CEO. And so they've actually been doing very well since then. AMD capped out. They came out and they had fantastic earnings release, and they exceeded their earnings. They really broke through one of their better earnings performances. Look at this. Actually a $1.45 on an estimate of 47 cents. So they killed it, exceeding their earnings. But then the stock traded off. And you might say, well, if they did so well with earnings, why did the stock trade off? Why did it drop so much? And you say, well, what are you talking about? What do you mean it dropped so much? If you take a look at where earnings was reported, they reported earnings right here. And that was 26th of January or 27th, somewhere right on there. It was a Tuesday or Wednesday, I forget. Since that time, they peaked out $94, and they're down about 9.5% or so since their earnings release. And so that might be one a little bit longer term of a play. Most of the analysts have price targets in the $90 to $95, $100, some of them as high as $120. It depends, but if you look at their earnings down here and what they've done a great job with the company. Their CEO, her last name is Sue. She's actually done very, very well with managing the company, and so good for her as far as that goes. Again, I think it's a good good stock, and would be something worth taking a look at. Okay. Let's take a look here, and I don't know if this music will be a little bit goofy or not. Yeah. Let's go to... Let's do this. All right, we'll get some happy sounds. For music, I'm using Epidemic Sound, and eventually I'll have some links down below in that where you can take a look at that. So back to AMD. Again, AMD did very, very well on their earnings, but then they pulled back off of that. NVIDIA, another chip maker, if we take a look at, they just reported earnings. Look at this, same thing. You had a decline. So they reported earnings last week, and then boom, dropped down about 5.69%. So again, AMD blew out their earnings completely, drops 9.5%. NVIDIA beats their earnings pretty well too, or they came up short a little bit actually, but they only went down 5.9%. So AMD has always been running in the shadows of Intel and NVIDIA, and one of the reasons is because they'll use a different chip manufacturer, TSMC, to manufacture their chips. So taking a look at AMD, there's a huge semiconductor shortage right now, and Taiwan Semiconductor, oops, where are we at here? Not sure why that's not showing up. All right, well, let's take a look. Because they make the chips for AMD, and because there's a shortage, some of that play on NVIDIA and AMC and even Intel to a certain extent is why they've pulled back a little bit after they've reported earnings. So interesting stuff there. Microsoft, another mover today, down a little bit, $1.95, but again, it trades upper 200s. So on some of the platforms like Webull and or Robinhood, you can buy fractional shares. Charles Schwab also has fractional shares, I believe, that you can pick up on their platform as well. The charting software that I'm showing you, I actually don't trade on this platform. I actually just use it for my live data. And I purchased a live data for the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ, etc., so that I can get live quotes, so my quotes aren't delayed. The only thing delayed on my charts is the light crude oil, and that one is slightly delayed, but that's okay, not a big deal. All right, so some of the other ones, again, if you're looking at AMC now, what's interesting about AMC as a play, and again, I do own some call options for AMC, is what they're doing in terms of their competitor. So if AMC Theaters is at $8.88, who's their competitor? Well, the closest one that I can think of is Cinemark. And so if you take a look at Cinemark, they're doing the same thing, and they're down as well. But let's go out to a daily chart, and let's take a look at Cinemark, and we're going to do a comparison. And where are we at here? And we're going to compare them to AMD because everybody's talking about Reddit and the Reddit stocks and Wall Street Bets and different platforms, and I am over on Reddit as well. And if you take a look at, oops, wrong one. Hold on here. I did AMD instead of AMC. All right, so let's go back over here. There we go. And let's go AMC here. All right. So this is a daily comparison, but I'm going to go back out to the weekly. And so when you look at the weekly and you say, what has it done since August of 2019? So theaters, most of the drop-off in screens and everything else started to happen about fall of 2019. Might even say even a little bit before that, late summer 2019, and that could be a reflection of the movies that were released around that time, or other factors that may not come into play. So when people say that, oh, AMC, it's a meme stock, it's Reddit, well, if this is Cinemark up here and this is AMC down here, while they're not directly correlated as far as an actual price dump, where AMC dumped a lot further, so it was way down even before the huge drop. So once the screens ended, boom, they dropped all the way down. Cinemark dropped all the way down to $12.60, where AMC dropped all the way down to, I think it was $2. I think $2 or so. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's something that let's see. There we go. Okay. So AMC dropped as low as, right around here. I think it was $2 something. Yeah, it's somewhere around $2 or so. In the last 52 weeks, its low is $5.71. Its high of $27.85 on Cinemark. Again, we can look at that and say, well, coulda, shoulda, woulda. But I happen to like AMC as a longer-term play. Now, what they did do in their last run-up, which I thought was smart, is they turned around and they issued more shares. And some of the shares that were issued were used to pay off debt. Another company swapped, paid off, and they got like a $900 million cash infusion, which they say will carry them all the way through, potentially through all of 2021. So if they do get carried through all the way to 2020 through this year, then that could be a good outlier for what could pretend to be a lot higher stock price next year. So a little bit longer term of a play, I think. I could easily see AMC back up into the 20s at some point. I don't know if it's going to be anytime soon, but it could certainly hop back up there as a turnaround story comes in, as people go back to theaters and things like that. I think what's going to be big for theaters through the pandemic, and the biggest sign of whether they were going to be able to recover or not, will happen to be kids movies. And that's where some risk comes in, because if there's kid movies, and let's say Warner Brothers is going to release on platforms, call it Netflix or Amazon Prime, the big one is Disney, right? If they turn around and they release films in the theaters as well as releasing them directly to home viewers, that might be something that could harm the theaters. But AMC was smart, and here's what a lot of people don't know what AMC did during this whole downturn. They took the opportunity during this downturn to upgrade a lot of their theaters. They closed a bunch of theaters that were unprofitable, where, let's say, that particular area was not performing as well, and so they said, hey, when things do come back, I was reading articles about theaters closing in different markets. So they've closed a bunch of theaters, they've remodeled a bunch of theaters, they now have theater style seating, recliners and push button recliners and things of that nature, and food service delivered to your seat. And you can book your seats ahead of time, and they take in safety big time, where you just show your phone, they scan your ticket to go in there. And Tom and Jerry came out, I think it did, was it $13 million over the weekend? Let's take a quick look here. We can take a look at Box office receipts, and let's see here. Box Office Mojo. Sure, let's take a look at that. Just pick a random site here. So here's the weekend. What did I say? 13. So it ended up doing $14 million gross over the weekend, which is actually really good. So it may not be like a big blockbuster, but considering, New York State just opened to limited capacity theaters. In the upper Pacific Northwest, I think Washington State, they're open their theaters. So other theaters have still been open, so not bad over there. The Croods did, what is this one? $52 million for the Croods, A New Age. That's going to be your kids movie, right? So because of the situation, a lot of kids didn't get sick. There were some that unfortunately passed away. There were some others that got sick during the situation. But at the same time, they're going to be the quickest to recover. And so if box office receipts on children's movies come back to pre-level of the pre-situation level prior to March of 2020, then there's hopefully going to be an opportunity for somebody like AMC to do well. And that's kind of why I happen to like the company. It's why I bought some call options. Now I might actually roll those call options over to something else longer term, I might exercise them for the shares. So again, I own 30 call contracts, so I control 3,000 shares at $4 a share. Expiration March 19th. We'll see if I keep those or not. Okay, so that's basically it for GameStop. I think short term, will there be a squeeze? I don't know. If you take a look at AMC and what happened and who's squeezing them per se. A lot of stuff over here. If you take a look at, let me make this screen bigger for you guys. Okay. Take a look at the international. And this is Fintel, institutional and fund ownership, and these are basically funds that have changed position inside of AMC. So some of the bigger ones, which I thought were interesting, we're back on the 16th of February. Look at these green ones. Puts. Our buddy Citadel, right? They increased their puts by 1 million shares. Okay. So what that means is they basically, shorted GameStop, or not GameStop, AMC back on the 16th of February. Now, do they still hold those positions? Got me. Nobody knows. They won't tell us. So here's the thing. If you're trading in a stock, so for example, you're trading in AMC, and let's say back down here, let's go back further out, 5-minute chart, let's hit a low last week. 15 minute. And let's say you bought down here at 770, okay? So you bought shares at 770, okay? And since buying those shares at $7.70, or let's say you hit this bottom wick at 777, okay? And right now you're up 15%, okay? 15% in a week and a half, okay? Let's say, for example, you enter in an order to sell your AMC, and let's say your price target on that is $10, and you put in an order to sell your AMC shares if and when it hits $10, okay? And so if it hits $10, your broker, you put in that limit order, hey, sell my shares at $10, or sell a portion of my shares at $10. That order is actually visible to everyone. You can go into a platform and you can see what the open interest is on that. Conversely, if you do a stop limit order, which means, hey, you know what? I made 15%. Boy, I don't want it to drop back down, but if it drops down to 850, I want to get out because I still want to keep some profit. So what that means is if you put in that order to sell at 850, that order to sell at 850 the algorithms know that you have that order placed to sell your shares at 850. So the algorithms, computer trading software, might say, hey, we have X amount of people over here. We like this stock long term, but boy, we can make them sell their shares, which will drive the price down a little bit further, and we can buy it back at a lower price, and then it can basically go up again. Limit orders will protect your losses on the downside. Okay. Stop limit orders on the upside will protect your profits on the upside, and will hopefully allow you to ladder step your gains as it hits certain stop. It raises your stop order, raises your stop order, raises your stop order, comes back down a little bit, boom, you're out, you sell, you keep a little bit of your profit. So limit orders can be good in that range. I personally don't like to have my limit orders be visible depending on the amount of shares that I'm trading, because I don't want other people to know, where my limits are. So what I'll do is I'll set alerts up through my software to say, hey, if this stock drives through this price, or if it drives through this price, it will alert me. It'll make a sound, and it will tell me, hey, take a look, go see what's going on, because it just had an alert. Okay. All right. So coming back down here, looking at the overall market, you can see the S&P has been on a nice steady rise here since this morning, which is good. I think we're back over here. So only down 59 cents. And again, down here, this is volatility. Market goes up. The VIX, the volatility index on the S&P 500, goes down. So you have that there. Okay. All right. So back to AMC. So AMC could be a good play over there. Another one I've liked again is NVIDIA. NVIDIA has done very, very well. They had some really, really good earnings that they reported. But again, there's a thing about earnings, and a lot of people trade earnings and say, oh, they're going to blow out their earnings. They're going to do really well. I'm going to buy the stock. In a lot of cases, though, that purchase of those shares are going to accelerate up to earnings. And then what happens is, as soon as it hits earnings, you have the sell-off. And because you have the sell-off, how long does it normally take for them to recover? Well, we can take a look at that. So let's take a look at NVIDIA. And let's go to the daily chart. And we'll move that out and say, okay, so let's take a look at earnings and recovery. Okay. In this one back in May of 2020, because they were already so far down, they hit earnings, and then they dipped a little bit and then went back up. Here's earnings, go up, pull back a little bit, but not quite as low as the earnings. Did well there. Slight pullback here. So then you might say, well, so what caused the sell-off here after earnings? Well, it bounced up a couple days afterwards, and then it came back down. And the reason that happened is the overall market went down. You can take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average and say, okay, at the same time frame, you could have a dip in here, and that could cause some things as well. So NVIDIA, I like the company. They're doing well. They just introduced a bunch of cryptocurrency Ethereum miners, and maybe we'll do a video on cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, and the differences and how they're mined. And taking a look at NVIDIA, they came out with a new card last week. It was called the RTX 3060. And what they did was, for people that are mining cryptocurrency that uses GPUs or compute modes to mine coin, they bricked the card a little bit, and they put a limiter on there that says, hey, if you're running mining software, Ethermine, Phoenix Miner, Hive OS, Simple Miner, whatever you're running, instead of that card getting 40 megahash per second, they bricked it to only get 21, 22, 23 megahash per second. Similar to a 1060 graphics card with 6 gigabits of RAM from 3-4 years ago. Now, what I did hear in terms of Ethereum is that they only bricked the card. I was reading a couple articles last week that the card was only bricked for Ethereum, that if you mined other coins with it, it didn't affect your hash rate. Okay. All right, so I'll be right back. 1 second. Stay tuned. Not going far. Okay. All right, I'm back. Get a little water. All right. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So we are 1 o'clock Eastern time. GameStop, nice little run up today. Again, I do not own any GameStop. This seems to be pushing quite nicely. Look at that, folks. That's live. That's live. That is in the last 3 minutes, 2.71%. On probably no news. Yeah, no news whatsoever. So, what a lot of people think is happening is that when GameStop closed above $100 last Friday, all the options that expired on that Friday that were exercised for shares, whoever was short those, whoever was on the upside side of that transaction that offered their shares for sale, have to provide those shares. And at some point, they have basically 3 days they have to do it. So pretty much by the end of today, they've got to go back in and buy those shares to supply them for settlement date T+3, so that whoever bought those shares and is entitled to those shares at options expiration are going to get those shares. So that's probably what might be causing this to go up. Again, it's up 8.7%, slight pullback right now if you want to watch it. Really fun. Here's a 5-second chart. And you can see what's going on. I could even do a 1-second chart. That's every second. So you can take a look at what's doing every single second. Where's it going? I like 30 seconds. It just gives me a little bit quicker look at the market as what's going on as far as momentum goes. And again, for momentum traders, heck, they could have bought it down here and made a quick 3% on the stock in less than 5 minutes. So good for them if they got in on that. Taking a look at the other one that they're talking about, AMC. Let's see, BlackBerry. That's got a little bit run up. Nokia. That's a goofy looking chart. Yeah, I wouldn't go anywhere near Nokia. Not for me. BlackBerry's getting into some other things. That might be something. I've got them on a potential list, but I'm not quite convinced yet on their future prospects. As far as a long-term type play, momentum, absolutely. Those that either day trade or swing trade might look at getting into that a little bit. But GameStop, here we go, huh? 132.31, 132.50, hitting the high of the day. So this is the high of the day on the stock. If we take a look at what it did up through the open, this is where it opened right here. I'll turn on pre-market and say, okay, well, what did it do pre-market and post-market? So this is where it ended up yesterday, close, okay? This was after the close yesterday, a little pullback. At pre-market, opens up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So for 5 hours before the market opens at 9 o'clock Eastern time is pre-market, which means if your broker allows it, you can buy and sell stocks during that time frame. So if you want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and trade some stocks, you actually can. And a lot of brokerage firms allow that, but the volume is going to be a lot lower. So that's what this yellowish area is here. This is post-market, after-market yesterday. That's yesterday's market. This is today's market. So sorry about the eye chart. So if we take a look at today, on a nice little momentum run here, take a look at the bottom. Look at that. Okay. Yeah, your moving averages down here, so you could say, well, if it's going to pull back, what's it going to pull back to? you know, you could be looking at 126, 127-ish. Could look at a VWAP 128, somewhere around there. So this is on a 30-second chart, though, however, so really you'd want to look at that on a 5-minute. And on the 5-minute, okay, that's kind of what we're looking at there. So you could see it come back down 118, 119, but you have some, again, with a 5-minute chart today, you have a decent, you have one line of support. You have line of support up here, 125. You have another line of support, 123. Resistance is being, they're fighting for the resistance level right now. So if it breaks this wick, which it did, it broke this one over here, call it 132. Okay, 132.20. Well, little spike up there. Now it's back down here. Let's go back to our 30-second chart. And I'm going to get rid of this guy here. And, you know, slight pullback here. Let's see what happens and what it goes down to. So very interesting stuff going on with GameStop right now. I wouldn't call it shenanigans. This is just typical market performance of a high flyer stock that people are interested in. Now, as far as the volume goes, we're 4 hours into the market. So we're 3 hours 45 minutes right now to the second into the market, and we have 22 million shares traded out of. Hold on a second, calculator. Always good to have one of these handy. Okay, so take a look at GameStop. They traded 22.7 million shares, divided into the total of 41.8 equals -1. So about half the shares have traded, and we still have 2.5 hours to go. So with increased volume, the fact that it's going up and it's not hitting its average volume of 41 million shares, it may not hit that today. It's a little bit lower of a day per se. So that's something that, it'll be interesting to see if it hits that 41 million or not. So we'll see what happens there. AMC, on the other hand, is dipping down. And that one is down 27 cents. And there were a lot of options contracts that expired on Friday. And it will be interesting to see if they, how they do. Will they get a run-up? It got a run-up yesterday. Closed at 8:01 on Monday. And I forget what it closed at yesterday, 9 something, 9:20, 9:15, somewhere around there. Back to Rocket, up 40%. Look at that, it ran. So we were up 20% and boom, it took off again. Again, momentum. If you were there for the ride, congratulations. You made a good play. And, we'll see if it ends up pulling back a little bit or not. They do mortgages. What's interesting, and I think where the risk comes in with Rocket is a long-term play. Hey, if you got this stock and you participated in it and you did great and you got this run and you have profits right now, 17%, rock on. Great job. Here's where the risk comes in. The risk comes in is, will it fall? You say, well, I'm up 17. It's going to go to the moon. Well, rocket ships for everybody. We're off to the moon. We're taking the spaceship. Elon and everybody's going to start tweaking a rocket. What do? Do you know what they do? Has nothing to do with space. They do mortgages, right? We've all seen the ads around football season and everything else. They do mortgages. And when they do mortgages, what's going on in the housing market? Well, my opinion only. You have the moratorium set to expire March 31st. New stimulus package that they're passing says that the stimulus is going to put the moratorium on forbearance for mortgages, as well as kicking people that are renting out of their house for non-payment, is being extended through September now. Through September. So what that means is if you're in a hot real estate market, areas like Seattle, Los Angeles, I don't think New York is doing that well. I think they've had a lot of commercial stuff go south on them. But if you're in a hot real estate market, supply is very, 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 very low. Not a lot of first-time home buyers. As supply is low, housing prices have gone up. They've gone up big time. They've gone up in some areas 15%. If we look at, let's take a quick look here, see if we can dig this out. Let's type in 2020 real estate market increase and see what comes up here. Oops, cap box was on. All right, market values near you, market outlook, December, market outlook, market statistics. Here we go, Zillow Market Pulse. Let's see what this says. Okay, this market pulse for, so this was about a week or so ago. Shift in investor expectations help push mortgage rates significantly higher. So again, as inflation comes in and rates go up, but they're expecting fiscal relief driving expectations for impending surge in spending, but consumers' outlook for the economy remains muted, and new home sales set the tone for 2021. Mortgage rates jumping higher. So again, mortgage rates are now 0.5 percentage point higher than they were at the beginning of February. Okay. Fiscal support driving consumer spending, optimism remains muted. New home sales start the year off. Look at this. January new home sales were up 4.3% from December and up 19.3% from January 2020. Why? Rates were low, supply was limited, it was a seller's market. Okay. However, this is the issue. Median sales price of new houses sold in January was $346,400 nationwide now for U.S., up 5.3% from January of 2020. So what does that mean? Okay, apparently that's the same thing. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is when you take a look at a company like Rocket and you say, where do they derive their money from? They derive it from mortgages. They've been doing fantastic. Is that news built in? Their current quarter is probably going to be pretty decent. Those that have refinanced, if they haven't refinanced right now, they're going to be blasted with both inflation fears and mortgage interest rates going up. If you look at and said, okay, well, a lot of people are getting 2.6 or so. And let's take a look at the 30-year rate, bank rate, sure. Just click on an ad, give them a couple cents. And I think we'll see if it gives us. Here we go. So 30-year, probably paying some points here, 2.6%. Never heard of any of these guys. Who are these people? Not a single bank I've heard of. So 30 years, 2.75, 2.9. Again, we're looking at 3. You're basically looking at 3%. Okay. So if you refinance now, a lot of people have probably already refinanced if they've done so up to this point. Might be something that I don't know that I would necessarily go all in on a company like Rocket. So maybe that's just me. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see if this works. Okay. Oh. Oh, I see. Okay. So Rocket's doing good. Take a look at GME again. Pulling back. Look at that. Boom. Just like that. So if you got that 17%, great on you. Now it dropped 2.8% off of that. Careful where you buy, folks. Careful where you buy. All right, so let's see what else we got today. Look at this one. Was it AXON? I hope none of you own this thing. That's down quite a bit. Okay, from the Federal Reserve, Brainerd, still a long way from goals, would not hesitate to act in future if inflation persistently above target. So again, they're talking about inflation. Anytime you hear inflation, as inflation goes up, typically stock market indexes, individual stocks go down. S&P 500 goes down, etc. That just came out about 4 minutes ago. Let's see what else we have going on here. Fed's Brainerd repeats that asset purchase expected to continue at current pace till substantial progress made. This is unbelievable. If you go to the Fred 2, St. Louis Reserve, and you look at things like the money supply, and you say, let's CPI up 1.4%. People are buying more. Real GDP 4.1%. Down. Industrial production index. 10-year treasuries. Interesting. This is one that all right. What I'm about to go into is going to be controversial. And the reason it's going to be controversial, this is the Federal Reserve Bank St. Louis branch, call it, okay? And they report out economic data. And the economic data that they report out is called Fred. So let's take a look at Fred. As we look at Fred, and we take a look at what's called M1 and M2, money stock, money supply, okay? This series will no longer be updated. More information is available in the notes below the graph. This series is a suggested substitute. So we'll take a look at the substitute in a second. Look at this. 1995, 2000, 2005, 2010, 2015, 2020, March, all the way up. Crazy. Apparently now they're reporting it monthly. Look at that. It's the M1. Take a look at the M2. Look at this. We all know what happened in March. We know what started at the beginning of last year and still continues. And yet, interesting how the song that's playing in the background is talking about money. That is hilarious. What song is this? It's the Money by Pro Reese. That is funny. All right. Let's go back over here. Change that to a yearly. Crazy. Hmm. S&P's trying. God. And if you're looking at this, you have the VIX on the bottom over here, bottom pane of the stream. Above that, you have the QQQ, basically the Nasdaq index. Above that, S&P 500. Above that, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Oops. And those are all 30. We'll go with 1 minute charts on all these. Yeah, if you're here on the stream, if you want to ask a question or want me to look at a stock or cryptocurrency, let me know. Bitcoin currently at $47,768, down $1,800. This is the Coinbase one that I look at. Ethereum also pulling back a little bit. Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, welcome back to the channel. And took a short break there. 1 second. So GameStop tanking. It's tanking. Oh, auto. Look at that. Everybody was like, here we go. Market was like, not so fast. It's about a 6.5% decline in 30 minutes. 30 minutes, GameStop went down 6.5%. Interesting. It can go there. Cool. 35 minutes, GameStop has dropped 6.93%. Have to be very careful with these stocks that go up. Okay. Huh.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I've been on the flex since flex on. Neighborhood all in your eardrums. I ain't never scared like Bone Crush. Boy, I got God, don't fear none. My line busy, take no calls. Feels like I don't have no flaws. Snakes in the grass, cut those off. Yo, squad shitty, my bros raw. No breaks, we go, 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 go. Throw shade, that's a no, 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 no. Go high, go low, low, low. Like spinning in a 644. Cash money like 504. Ball like AD24. No sleep, need more, more, more. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I'm a real one, my day ones. Try speak up, can't say none. Try dig up, there ain't none.
Excuse me. So looking at GameStop again. Again, it's up 325. It dropped about almost 7%, 6.93% in 35 minutes. I stopped the box kind of where I saw support at. It dropped a little bit more, but look where it's coming right back up to where I drew the box. So kind of interesting as far as the meme stocks go. That's messed up. Boy, it sure is hanging out around that 123 range, huh? AMC's down 37 cents to 8.81. Ford is up 68 cents. Microsoft down $1.51. Nvidia down $7.21. US oil up 18 cents. And Ford was up quite handsomely, 68 cents. A little over 5.5%. What else we got going on? AMD. AMD's had a nice little run back up today from its low. It dropped worked down in the $85 range, so it's up almost 80 cents from there. 90 cents. Yeah, it's up almost 85, 90 cents from its low on the day. Got down to 85.02. So yeah, 90 cents. Not bad. Let's say you want to make $200 in a market. Okay. My goal each day, make $200. How do I get $200? Really simple. But it's not simple. You buy 1,000 shares of something and you need it to move 20 cents. Right? So again, if you have 1,000 shares times 20 cents, that's $200. If you had bought $85,000 of AMD right here, and let's just say you got nervous and ran it up here, 25 cents, $250 on the $85,000 buy. Okay. So it is possible. To do that. So I haven't decided if I am going to stream on Facebook as well. I'll probably do the first 30 days or so and do it on Twitch and YouTube. And then we'll take a look at possibly doing Facebook Live as well. But we've been live now for an hour and 52 minutes, right around there, almost a couple hours. I think.
just can't agree on what I should do when I don't feel free. You're not holding me back, I know. We're young and we never take things slow. I lose my self-restraint. I think we're done and you had more things. I calm down and watch it grind.
Learn how to mute my microphone. Oh, sorry. Good music. That's not good. Whoa. Ford. Huge day today, Ford. Huge, huge day. Seconds. So those of you watching me on YouTube right now, looks like there is about an 18-second delay in the stream, but that's okay. I'll figure out how to change that. Longer. It's about a 30-second delay. I take that back.
There's something about you that caught my eye. There's something so true that sparks a light. And I don't believe in love first sight, but I can't deny this thing I found. I'm not saying that you would change my life, but what I'm
All right, let's do a precious metals update. And let's check out silver. Silver's up almost 1% today, 0.223. But check out this range. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Just no rhyme or reason. Steady up climb, $22 up to 26. Who is this? This is Come Alive by LED Monster. Okay. Timestamps. There we go. Wow. Okay, it's a little past 11 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and do our precious metals update for the day. And so 11 o'clock, I should say Pacific, 2 o'clock Eastern. So let's start off with silver. Silver is up today, up about 16.8 cents, called 17 cents anytime you see decimals in there. This is the spot price. So the spot price of silver right now is $26.71 an ounce. And so if you were to go to what's called an LCS or a local coin store, you're going to pay a premium above that $26.72 to purchase silver from them. If you are going to sell silver to them, they will put a downside premium on that, which means instead of getting $26.72, you might get $24, or depending on what it is that you're actually selling, whether it's what they consider junk silver, collectible, spot price, etc. in the content of silver. So whether that content is 0.999 fine or 90% silver or 40% silver, depending on what it is that's in there, that's where the pricing is derived from. So silver's at $26.72. Let's take a look at platinum. And platinum is at $1,210. Let's go to usmint.gov. You will see their product schedule for 2021. And you can take a look at something. So let's see, today's the 2nd of March, and On the 5th of March, out of the San Francisco Mint, they have the 2021 proof set coming out. So this is something they will sell for $32, and it will have 7 different proof coins in it, a certificate of authenticity, as well as bearing the S Mint mark. So this is kind of what you get: a dime in there, you get a penny, you get a nickel there, you get a Jefferson there, you get a Sacagawea dollar, mint symbol, and a Kennedy $50. And what comes in the package, as well as, whoops, looks like you also get a Tuskegee Airman quarter and a Crossing the Delaware quarter. So 7 different coins for $32. So you get Tuskegee Airman National Historic Site coin quarter, and a George Washington Crossing the Delaware, along with a penny, a nickel, a dime, a $50, and a dollar. And again, those are going to be available on the 5th, which is Friday, right? Yep, Friday the 5th. And usually they do their releases. The U.S. Mint does their releases at usually noontime is when it releases, and that's noon Eastern. So noon Eastern, 11 Central, and 9 o'clock a.m. if you're Pacific time zone. And again, this product will be available for sale on March 5th at 12 noon. So that's when it's available. Make that a little bit bigger for you guys, for you all to see. And something I was interested in as well, and they're out of stock on, but oops, let's close that out. It's the February 11th. I do try to collect or purchase some things from the Mint here and there. One of them, I was fortunate enough that I picked up the American Eagle 2021 1-ounce silver proof coin. Again, this is a $73 coin, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful coin. Here's the thing though. After 35 years, this is the final version of this silver proof coin with its original heraldic eagle reverse tails design. Again, this is the last one they're going to produce. Later on this summer, they're going to introduce other designs of a 2021 ounce silver proof coin. These are going for $73, and look at the reverse on this. It's just beautiful, beautiful coin. And it's got the W on there as well. So it's got the designer and the W. There's the W. There's the designer. Also usually comes with a certificate of authenticity, as well as a presentation box. And then inside the box, you know, one of the great things that the Mint does do is they will encapsulate their coins on the proof sets. So you don't have to touch it. You don't have to put on a pair of cotton gloves or something of that nature. You're able to just take it out and admire it for what it is. You say, okay, well, what would one of those coins, what are they selling for right now? Go to a large dealer like APMEX. And let's go into silver. And let's go into 2021 proof silver eagles. And they're not going to have any either. Completely out of stock. And they don't even give you the price. So watch this, folks. Watch what these are going for on eBay. So eBay 2021 Proof American Eagle coin. Check this out. If you were fortunate enough to get some of these, and we want to find the rover, here we go. Okay, let's close that off. Look at this. Look at these prices, folks. They've already gotten them graded. 122, 199 in stock for the 2020. $425 for last year's. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Oops. Look at this. So if you were able to pick one of these up back on February 11th and it was shipped to you and you got it, they're currently already going for double the price of the mint cost. $146, $149. 100% return on your coin right then and there. Wow. And that's why, because this is the last design. So if you don't have any of these and you want some, you can go onto the usmint.gov website and you can click on the Remind Me button over here, and then you can put in your email address or your phone number, hit Remind Me, and you'll get those alerts. From what I understand, those that did buy this coin on release from West Point Mint with the W on it, those are considered, if they're delivered within the first 30 days, they are considered first strike coins. So first strike coins usually go for a little bit more. Let's see, if I type this in here, Control C, and then I paste and I type in first strike. So anything first strike is within the first 30 days. Here they already took this one out of the box. Got a 70 rating for it. First strike, $66. Pinehurst coins. Something's goofy there. Oh, those are sponsored. So why? Oh, I see. Okay. Here's the difference. $66 is for the uncirculated one, which means that it's not proof quality. It's just uncirculated quality. And the uncirculated ones, a lot of the coin dealers were able to buy those and get those for substantially less than the proofs. Now the proofs, look at this. $219 for a 70 first strike flag. Pre-sale, expected shipping $326, expected ship date $312. So in other words, they've already bought these coins, but they're not releasing them for sale. They're only doing pre-sale now because they have to get them graded. So chances of this being a legitimate one may or may not be. Okay. Back in 1 second. Okay, back. All right, so again, if you're looking at for the 2021 proofs, the uncirculated are available right now. The proofs are not because they're probably out getting graded, but those have already gone up pretty much 100%, less than 2 weeks. So they were, the US Mint was pretty much immediately sold out. I had read somewhere that they sold out of this run, which would be considered the first strike run. They sold out within 8 minutes of release, which means at 12 noon Eastern Time on February 11th, you had 8 minutes to buy these coins. After that, they were gone. And so there you go. Crazy. So we looked at the price of platinum. So platinum, $1,200 an ounce. So we're going to talk about premiums. $1,200 an ounce is what platinum's going on right now. And let's take a look at this year's version. Whoops. Oh, here we go. I was already there. Let me find it. Oh, that's silver. No, that's product schedule. Hold on. Here we go. February 4th. Now these are 1845. These on February 10th, they were priced at 1645. So let's take a look at February 10th. Platinum was at 1234, so they priced them at 1645. Then platinum ran up. So then they increased it on February 11th to coincide with the proof coin that went out that day, $16.95. $50 a coin. They increased it overnight. Okay. Then it went from $16.95 to $18.45. So let's look at the time frame. February 10th, they were at $16.45. $16.45 divided into $18.45 minus 1. So they went up 11% over the last couple weeks. Now, what did platinum do since that day? Well, if we take a look at February 11th, let's just take the high of February 11th. Platinum's actually down. So they increased the price 11%, yet the price of platinum since that release date has gone down 4%. So you're going to see people selling those for a lot higher as well. So let's take a look at platinum and United States Mint platinum. Here we go. And these are usually available. These you can usually buy. But again, they're 1 ounces. You're going to pay premiums on these. So if platinum is at 1209.43, they're selling theirs for $15.73. Random years. Brilliant uncirculated, $16.23. 2018. Unbelievable prices on these things. A lot of them are sold out too. Anything with an alert me sign on APMEX, and APMEX is now one of the largest online retailers that's out there. Clearance. Always interesting to take a look at clearance, see what they have. Nothing is on clearance. And then palladium. Watch this, folks. Ready? 1 ounce of palladium. And I don't think the mint. Let's see what the mint has. It's just metals. There you go. You can buy a 2020 palladium coin for 3,050, a 2019 palladium coin for 3,050. West Point Mint. So what is the spot price of palladium? $23.74. So $23.74 divided into 30.50. You're paying a 22% premium to buy palladium from the U.S. Mint. And I don't know when. Let's see, product schedule. Let's go West Point. And let's see when those are coming out. See, they haven't shown the design yet. But sometime this coming summer, you gotta watch for this now. The American Eagle 2021 1-ounce silver proof coin with a new design is going to be coming out. Along with the reverse proof. Huh. I don't see. There it is. So sometime this summer, the 2021 1-ounce proof is going to be released. No pricing yet. Again, it's going to depend on what the spot price is, but based on current, you're probably looking about $3,000 or so. Okay. All right. So again, palladium, rhodium, platinum. Those are all in your catalytic converters. APMX is selling palladium coins. The only one, they have one available, any quantity, is Brilliant Uncirculated 2017 coins. Again, you get the West Point mark. Look at the back of this. Gorgeous. Just unbelievable quality. But again, 31.61 at a premium. Now, if you were to sell it to APMX, I'll offer you like $2,800 for it. So there you go. And that is our metals update. So again, you got palladium, $23.74 an ounce. I'm going to add that to my watch list, so I have it on there as well. There we go. And resort. Platinum, $1,206 an ounce. They're up $23 today. And silver is up 14 cents to $26.69. Right around there. All right. Silver's got a nice little run up here off the bottom. About 70 cents or so off the bottom. Actually, not bad. know, what's funny though is if you go to Reddit, there is the memes on here are just crazy funny. So these guys want to go out and buy billboards and things like that. Show their stacks. Look at this. These folks do this. No disrespect to longtime silver stackers trying to catch up. This particular person has 440 ounces off the market in February. More banker pain incoming. But these are retail coins. These are things of silver that was already in stock. So are they going to be able to squeeze silver and run up the price? I don't know. If you take a look at silver on the monthly, you know, we're back to 2013 levels. So that's where silver is at right now. Silver right now is back to 2013 levels. Okay. So 8 years ago, if you would have bought silver, you're finally back to zero recently. Literally this year. Okay. Where did it top out at? 2011. $42 a ship, $42 an ounce. Before that, however, look at this. Watch this. What's this? $48 back in 1980. $13.83 or so. That started its climb, peaked in 2013 or 2011. I'm sorry, $43, and here we are today. Run up from 22 range, $17 back in March. Dropped like everything else. See, that's the interesting thing. If the market does correct on a major scale, call it 10%, maybe 20%, whatever the case is, precious metals tend to go down as well. So if you look at platinum, same time frame, same drop. Palladium, same time frame, same drop. So, you know, you have to know that going in. You have to have patience. And what I call double M. Not talking about market maker. So when I say double M, I'm talking about market maturity. And market maturity is simply having the guts to not necessarily sell out. Remember, a gain is not a gain until you sell. A loss is not a loss until you sell. Okay. So again, these folks think that they can squeeze silver.
Loved you from the first time you called me lame. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games.
Actually, it's kind of cool looking. Here's a Janet Yellen one. Janet Yellen, in case you don't know, that's who this person is right here. She is the Treasury Secretary, and she used to have Jerome Powell's job as head of the Federal Reserve. And this one says that look you get when you find out the 99% are wising up to your Keynesian monetary fraud. There you go. So everybody wants silver right now. And what they're trying to do is, here's the problem. Silver is used in a lot of applications, computers, cell phones, all kinds of things, right? Medicine, all kinds of different applications. It is a mined commodity, which means unless it's destroyed or lost, the available inventory increases as the mines pull more silver out of the ground, right? Pull silver out of the ground. What Wall Street has done is they've come out with ETFs. And the ETFs are SLV, and SLV $24.79. So we said silver is at $26.68. This is at $24.79. People think when they buy this, they're buying silver. You are not buying silver, okay? As far as I know, when you buy this trust, you are not buying silver. It is not backed by physical silver. It mirrors what silver does. We say, but wait a second. If it mirrors what silver does, why is silver at $26.69 and the SLV at $24.80? Right? So again, SLV, but there's another one. There's another one called PSLV. Okay? This is the Sprott Physical Silver Trust. Now, these folks, they actually do go out and buy physical silver as people buy their trust. Okay? So it's had a huge run, though. Look at this. So if silver is up 2-3%, and their little fund is up 81% since April of last year, up 81.45%. Okay. So accordingly, these folks go out, if you buy this trust, they will go out and purchase silver, physical hard silver, to hold. But it's not necessarily, it's not a custody situation. In other words, you cannot call them up and say, hey, I want to redeem my shares. Send me my silver. I don't think that's how it works. I've not dug into that enough. Again, keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice. This is just education and entertainment. And if you take my advice, you'll probably lose all your money. So don't do that. Hire a financial advisor if you want financial advice. Okay. So silver, $24.80. The flood of capital out of the paper, COMEX, and silver into physical silver, PSLV, continues. See that in 4 weeks, COMEX is minus 15.9 million ounces, 10.6%. SLV is minus 10.1%, and PSLV is up 25.8%. COMEX eligible is bogus. Silver squeeze is killing it. Keep stacking. If you go to COMEX, we'll go there. Here's a little secret. You close some of these other ones out. Okay, let's go to COMEX. COMEX. I don't think this is them. Yeah, it's just live silver prices. COMEX silver. All right, let's take a look here. JD Bullion, COMEX Live, see silver futures. Let's go buy. Custody. Okay. I'm done looking for that. All right, so almost coming up on Power Hour. So that's pretty much it for the precious metals update. Okay, so again, if you have a question on a stock, precious metal, or crypto, type the symbol or your question into the chat, and I have it up on each of the platforms, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. All right, let's see what else is going on in the markets. So right now you have the Dow Jones is down 7.41, 31,528. Nasdaq's down 148, over 1%, and the S&P 500 is down 3,800. So we've taken a nice little dump over the last hour or so in the market. You have AMC is down 31 cents. I bet GameStop is still up a little bit, but they've dropped off of their high of the day. And that huge run up was exactly that. Just no news, hype. And let's see what Rocket's doing. Rocket off its high of $41.83, down to 38. So hit a bottom of 35.50 or so, somewhere in there, and then bounce back up another $3. So if you like the volatility, swing down, swing high, swing low. You can simply, buy it down here, ride it up, no sell here. Oh, told me to sell here. Come back down here, buy it here, sell it here, buy it here, sell it there, buy it there, sell it there. Just do what that thing tells you to do. Not financial advice. You'll lose all your money. These are lagging sell indicators and buy indicators. So usually it will take a couple candles before it confirms. So you're not going to get, but you'll get something out of it though. I mean, if you bought here and sold it when you sold it, you're not going to get the high, but 12%. I'll take 12%. Ford is still up 66 cents. At least something I own is up today. U.S. oil is down today. What's oil doing? Oil's down 87 cents a barrel, 59.74. So U.S. oil is down as well. Nvidia getting tanked. Down $10.76, down 2%. So Nasdaq is down 1%, Nvidia is down 2%. Intel Nasdaq down 1%, Intel down 1.68, and AMD down 1.2%. Crazy. Holy cow. Let's see here. So, new nomination of Gary Gensler to lead the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. He said on Tuesday, if confirmed, he would take a closer look at trading gamification, inadequately funded platforms, and payments for order flow by market participants in light of the roller coaster ride in GameStop share price earlier this year. Unbelievable. So what Robinhood did in stopping the trading at GameStop when they did, not good. That came out 6 minutes ago. Let's see. And NVIDIA broke through support. They support at 544. They're down to 543.68. The fact that it broke through that support level, though, is not that good. What was this one? Crazy. All right. You look at the virus stocks. J&J, Johnson & Johnson, just announced on Saturday that they've been granted emergency use authorization for their vaccine. So that's pretty good news for Johnson & Johnson. You look at Moderna, again, just high flyers. These stocks are off of lows. $26 Pfizer up to $33.68. Oops. Can't type. Moderna, 52-week range, $19 to $148. Crazy, crazy prices. And then J&J had a low of 109 up to 159. But a huge jump today. They've actually done really well today. Bouncing off the bottom, that is. All right, we'll be back. We'll be back shortly. Please stay tuned. Okay, we're back. With some orange juice. Cheers. A late breakfast. If I can show this. Eggs, bacon, and a piece of toast. Because who doesn't like bacon? That's really good. I get this seasoning from this place called Waddles. And it is a restaurant, sports bar type place in Spokane, Washington. And let me see if I can pull it up on here. Waddles Pub and Grill. Uh-oh. Okay, so this is the place, Neighborhood Pub and Grill. They're in Spokane. And this is what I get. The silly, screwy, squirrely seasoning. And it is really good. I went there for breakfast one time, and couldn't help myself. So that sauce is good, or I'm sorry, that seasoning, their seasonal, is really good on eggs and potatoes, and just really good stuff. You can put it on steak, all kinds of things. And I buy 2 of them at a time. And they're $9.95 each. So a little pricey, but it is delicious. Dow climbing back into positive territory on the day. NASDAQ coming back a little bit, now down only 113. S&P down 3, so minimal. The NASDAQ was down over 1%. Breakfast is one of those things you can eat anytime. Watch is a Mob Boy Pro. Love that thing. They make good watches. GME, GameStop, up 1% now. So if you have a question on a stock, a precious metal, or crypto, feel free to post it down in the chat. I'll be happy to answer it for you. AMC climbing back a little bit off of its bottom. Love bacon. Most of my food I get from Amazon. If you buy $35 or more of groceries, they deliver it for free. You might see the TV commercials, and again, this isn't available in every market. It is where I live. But rarely do you get it in 2 hours anymore. It's just been too busy, too many people are into it. So, but usually next day. So Dow right now is up 49.91. NASDAQ Composite Index is down 110, so 0.82%. And the S&P 500 is down 3.42, or down 0.09%. AMC looks like they're down about 27 cents. You look at GameStonk is up $2.40. Chip makers are getting hammered. AMD down 87 cents, back down into the 85.50 territory. Intel down 85 cents, back down to $62. So they're down 1.3%. But Nvidia, big drop for them, down $9. But off the bottom though, and nice little bounce. If you would have bought there and still held it, could have got back another $2.31, about 0.4%. So a little less than half of 1% on the recovery for Nvidia off of their bottom, which was $541.76 on the day. They were as high, they've had a $12 swing. They were as high as $556 today, but that was pretty much right at the open, I believe. Yeah, right at the open. Spiked at the open. and start dropping. Have a big channel here. Again, you can see where it dropped. You know, forget about all this stuff in the beginning. Take a look from here. Once it dropped, it never really reclaimed. Then it did, came above, but dropped again. It's just, you could just ride those 50 and 200-day moving averages. But that's on a 30-second timeline. If you take a look at a 5-minute timeline, you know, writing that down. Below the VWAP, below the 50 and 200-day moving average. So let's see which way it's going to decide to go here. Drop back down to 30 seconds, and I think we have about 47 minutes left in the market where the market closes. Let's see if we can get a push back up here for the last hour. It's on a nice, you know, it made a nice turn here, but GameStop, I don't think there's any news. And then let's see Rocket, see what happened. All right, okay, Rocket, I see you. So huge sell-off off the top, but man, I mean, they were up. Had a 44% run from 9:45 this morning until 11 o'clock. So 12:45 Pacific or Eastern time to around 2:03 Eastern time. Had a nice little run, and it dropped. So we got 44%. So off the highs, ballpark it here. Dropped 16%, and then recovered where we're at right now. So 15%. So 44% up, 16% down, 15% back up. That would have been a good momentum play. And now it's going to decide if it's going to break through this resistance line here, if you can call it a resistance line. It's well above the moving averages. Probably on all the timelines. Look at the 5 minutes, it's going to be well above that. Even if you look at the hour, it's going to be above that. And of course, if you look at the daily, it's going to be way above. So on the hour, you know, news. Oh, they're calling it a short run. Rocket Company shares soar more than 70%, hurting short sellers. Again, this news story by Reuters was released after it jumped up that 40% in that 2 hours. Halted for volatility, and then up again 46% to 35%. Some fuel for the company's recent gains may be coming from a short squeeze. Right here, where investors betting against a company's shares are forced to unwind their positions after rallying the stock price. That would make it similar to GameStop and other meme stocks, the GameStoppers, GameStop-esque. Everything's about GameStop. So let's see here. As of Monday's close, here we go. 1.2 billion worth of the company's shares outstanding were sold short, compared with 937 million a week ago. So you had a $300 million increase in short interest over a week. That's according to Dusaniski. I don't know how you pronounce that guy's name. Percentage of shares outstanding sold short stood at 45.8% as of Monday's close, from 35.5% at the beginning of February. So what they're doing is the play on the short side is they're thinking interest rates are going up. Based on what's going on with the situation with the pandemic, if inflation goes up and interest rates go up on mortgages, and there's still people in forbearance, which we don't know the true numbers on how many that actually is from both private and government. They only release the government numbers on FHA, VA, Ag, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac type stuff. They don't release the privately held stuff unless the company chooses to. They're betting that housing is going to come down, that supply will increase. Not a lot of people are going to be able to afford the increased interest rates. Therefore, Rocket Mortgage's revenue gains and earnings per share will decline from what they reported over the last quarter. I don't know, we'll see. But here's the most interesting part. Here's what Rocket did. What Rocket did was they have issued a special $1.11 special dividend per share payable on March 23rd to shareholders of record at the close of business on March 9th. So you pretty much by Friday, if you own a Rocket Mortgage, you will get a $1.11 per share dividend paid out to you on March 23rd. So that also means that on the 10th of March or right around there, you can sell it and you still get the dividend. So this is dividend buying. And so what you're seeing here is, let me go back to that story for a second. So what they're saying is that, because here's the interesting part. Anybody that is short the stock right now on Rocket, which means they took a position of shorting, which means they sold the stock. They don't own the stock, they borrowed that stock, and maybe they're paying a 1% or 2% or 4%, or like AMC Theaters, they're paying a 9%, or GameStop a 9% interest rate. With AMC, I think it's like 9% now it's up to. So they're paying a 9% interest rate, let's say, for example purposes, to sell Rocket Mortgage's shares short. They sold them, hoping to buy them back at a lower price. If they're stuck in this dividend squeeze, which means that if you're short the stock, you sold the shares, you are responsible for paying that dividend out. Surprise. So what the ones that are short are, they took a $300 million additional position over the last week into Rocket Mortgage, and by doing that, if they're still in it at the end of this week, they'll have to pay the dividend to the holders of the stock. To the ones that they borrowed it from, they're responsible for paying that dividend. So maybe that's, you get this huge run, and I didn't participate in it. I missed it. Again, it's up 74%. Please don't FOMO this, fear of missing out. Don't buy these shares. And now we have the Dow tanking, we have the S&P tanking, we have the triple Qs tanking. You can see all that on the bottom of the screen. Volatility is going up, and let's see what that's all about. So this could be, so 2 minutes ago, yep, that's why. The U.S. Senate voted 84-15 on Tuesday for Commerce Department. I think they approved a bunch of people in the Senate. I don't see any other, let's see if there's any other breaking news that I missed here. All right, this is just interesting. I don't know if it's interesting in a good way or a bad way. Oops, hold on a second. But apparently they've canceled Dr. Seuss. Is that why the market's going down? I don't know. Bust on a semi-truck in Texas. Women's March stuff. Governor Abbott announces plans to fully reopen businesses. And the mask. Arizona State settles with a student who was sued after being fired over a tweet. Commerce Secretary. We'll call this a Dr. Seuss crash, I guess. So the Dow, negative again. So down 57 points there. SPX. Down 16 on the S&P 500. And NASDAQ Composite is down 1.2%. So that's a huge jump to the downside here with a little over 40 minutes to go in before the market closes. Not good. Sector updates. CDC adopts rules. Let's see. All right, let's see. Merck is going to help make Johnson & Johnson's vaccine. Target to spend $4 billion a year, speed up delivery. U.S. and EU impose sanctions on Russia over Navalny poisoning. So that could be part of this too. You put sanctions on Russia over Navalny. Navalny was a guy that he accused the Russian government of poisoning him, and then he went to Germany, I think, for treatment. Came back and then was arrested. Bond yields are going up. Commerce Secretary. U.S. Supreme Court signals more leeway for voting restrictions. Fixed income markets weary of Fed decision on bank capital relief. Germany to start easing COVID-19 lockdown next week. So you have a combination of things going on. You have the SEC person confirmed. They're going to do some investigating, which usually means more regulations. That's not good for the market. You have inflation going up. You have the 10-year treasuries moving. Bond markets, people are getting nervous. And that's probably why things are going south here. How much of that is related to the Russian sanctions? Let's see. News. Yeah, Biden administration sanctions Russia over Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny's poisoning. All right, we're settling down a little bit. The VIX, which is volatility index, ran up. Hopefully we're going into a little consolidation here. And maybe we'll get a pop back towards the end of the market. Let's see here. Russia's critic Bill Browder, a London-based investor, tweeted that he feared the new U.S. sanctions would be way too little and not touch Putin's billionaire cronies. Defense figures, Kremlin figures. It's like individual sanctions. Let's see what else we got here. So you know who is doing well today? Look at this. Ford. Ford is doing good, or if you bet against the VIX and did the SQQQs, you could have shorted there and made some money. That's it. Ford is like one of the only green ones. And they pulled back off the highs as well. So it looks like a very red day in the market today. All the major indexes are down. Dow is down 46 points. NASDAQ Composite is down 166. And the S&P 500 is down 15. So 0.14% down on the Dow, 1.23% on the NASDAQ Composite. And if you looked at the go to the heat map. Here's the S&P 500 heat map. So this basically shows you what's up and what's down. Here's one for just exchange traded funds. So anything in the bright green is going to be up today. Everything in the red is going to be down. And those within a range of, call it 0.25%, will be in the gray area. So the S&P 500, you could take a look at this and you could say, okay, well, what's up and what's down? You have Microsoft down, you have Apple down, you have Google up a little bit, you have Tesla down 3.52%. And these will all be expressed in percentages. And FinViz, this is the site where it'll talk about sectors. And you can look at different sectors and say, okay, semiconductors, what's going on in the semiconductors? Okay, NVIDIA is down 1.6%, Intel is down 1.5%. Everybody's basically down, AMD down, etc. You look at consumer electronics, Apple is up. Technology information services, IBM's, Fiserv. Other than that, no, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Disney down, Netflix up. There you go. Restaurants, some of them starting to come back. McDonald's just came out with a new chicken sandwich. Haven't tried it yet. If any of you have tried that, let me know. I might get one of those. I hear the fish sandwiches at Arby's are supposed to be really good. Haven't had one of those either. Let's see here. Let me make sure.
We could have the world to ourselves, going to a place that's far, staring at the stars for hours, 'cause you're a renegade. I could be the one who saved you from this heartbreak. We could be as one and escape. We could run away, we don't gotta stay. I can feel it, it burns inside. Take away the pain, we can go insane. I can feel it, it burns inside. We can run away, we don't gotta stay. I can feel it, it burns inside. Take away the pain, we can go insane. Trust me, I won't let you down. I won't let you down.
Okay. Checking my margin account, making sure I did not have any margin calls for the day. And I do not. But nice chunk of change losing today. So what are these indexes doing here? Man, getting clobbered. Microsoft down $1.75. Nvidia down $10. Let's move this over so you can see the percentages. Sorry about that. Intel down 1.87. Ford though, Ford up 5.47%. That's good news. NIO posted bigger than expected loss, slowing EV sales growth in Q1. So NIO is one of those electric vehicle car manufacturers in China. Yeah, it's down 12%. Oops. Hopefully you don't own any NIO right now. So a couple percent loss today on some of these is not super surprising. Bitcoin is down 2,000 to 47,000. Ethereum probably took a dump too. Back down to 1466. Again, I think there's serious support on Ethereum at the 1450 level. Yeah, you've got good support right here. Is this an outlier or is this a new support level? New resistance levels around 1589, which it did hit 1605 today. Top candle, top wick of a candle. That was a while ago. So definitely consolidation phase right here on Ethereum. At least in the last hour, half hour. And same thing with Bitcoin. Dow below the moving averages. NASDAQ Composite below the moving averages. The VIX, let's see if that settled down. Nope. Increasing. This is not a good sign. That tells of market selling. Yeah, NASDAQ Composite down 1.16%. GME, look at that, negative on the day. AMC negative on the day. And I bet Rocket's up still. Rocket Mortgage up 71%. Wow. That's huge. Look at that. That's today. That's what 70% looks like on one stock. So I think the CEO of Rocket pretty much told the short hedge funds, if you want to mess with our stock, we're going to issue a special dividend, make you responsible for paying the dividend, thereby increasing your loss potential if you don't buy the stock back and cover your short position. And that seems to be the play here. will it break this? Well, it broke this level over here already, and that's why it's going above here. So it broke these two levels here. So, who knows how high it can go here. Let's watch it. Definitely interesting. See if there's any. I'm gonna see if there's any other news. Besides what I'm seeing on my chart platform. Nope, just that it resumed trading. It was a halted again. Now it's trading again. Social buzz. Rocket Companies has retail trading herd talking. So now they're known as the herd on Reddit. Rocket Companies is one of the new fan favorites among the Reddit Wall Street Bets crowd, soaring nearly 67%. And among the top 5 most discussed issues on the trading boards. Okay, so when we talk about the top 5 most discussed issues on the trading board, so what people are doing, and I saw this, let me see if I can find this. Top talked stocks on Reddit. And there aren't people that let's see here. All right, think I have it. Let me see if I can pull this up for you guys. Oopsie. Why was that removed? Let's see here. All right, 20 minutes left. Usually we'll see a move of sentiment right around 45 minutes to the hour of the hour. All right. Go to this one site. Let me see if there's a link. Oh, there's people trying to sell it. This is not what I was looking for. All right, I'll see if I can figure that out for tomorrow. Okay, so Rocket seems to be calming down just a little bit, sticking in that 70% range or so. I'm clobbered. Everything is going down, with the exception of Ford. Ford, even U.S. oil, now down 47 cents. Yeah, so it's a big drop, folks. It doesn't seem like it, but what the problem could be is, does this now develop momentum for the overall market to decline? And there certainly is a possibility of that happening. But boy, you can pick some things up cheaper, not necessarily cheap. Let's see here. Take a look at the $7 difference. But I'm looking at some theoretical. That's a good song. Midpoint. Oh, to cover. Oh, I get it. Okay. Let's go to. All right, don't do what I do. I just picked up an additional NVIDIA call option with a strike price of $5.45, expiration March 19th at 1585, which is below the midpoint, because it's on the buy side. So basically what I'll do is I'll try and buy an option if I'm buying a call. That gives me the right to purchase 100 shares on March 19th. And so that was one call option. So that ran me about $1,585. And I had the last trade. So again, the NVIDIA March 19th expiration, 5:45 call. I just purchased one. And we'll see what happens to that one going forward. So here we go. Don't do what I do. You'll lose your money. Guaranteed. Not a financial advisor, not giving financial advice. But I like that play from the standpoint that I bought it. Still a couple weeks left to expiration, so today's the 2nd. They don't expire till here the 9th. So you got a full 2.5 weeks before expiration. I should bounce back up. Take a quick look at 5-minute. Actually, go back to the 30-second. And let me run down here. We got 12 minutes left back in the market. VIX is up. Everything is basically down with the exception of Ford and metals. Okay. All right, let's see if there's any other news here as we head back south again. So again, Dow down 0.25%, so down 76.78. The NASDAQ Composite down 1.43%, or down $193.76. And the S&P 500 down 0.55%, or down 21.90. So 21.90 down the S&P 500, 193 on the NASDAQ Composite, and 77 on the Dow. So definitely a very, very red day with negative sentiment to the market. So always not fun when there's days like this, right? So 10 minutes left till market close. What do you think, Rocket? They go back up? They come back down? Dropped about 10%. So only up 63%. That's a good song. Who sings this? Red Lights by Kilrood Remix. Lively? It's a good tune. Microsoft's down today. I'm 278. U.S. in touch with Ethiopian government over the detention of journalists. So yeah, there's some bad stuff going on over there. Pretty much at the bond yields, as the bond yields go up a little bit, there's fears of inflation, there's fears of an overvalued market. And I want to see if there's any, let's go to Rocket, see if there's any buy-in balances on Rocket. So buy and balance is something that it's released roughly a few minutes before close, if there is one. And we still have 8 minutes, so it might not hit for another 3 minutes or so. But I'd be interested to see if there is. All right, where is my... Take some of these out. All right, one last look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Bitcoin down 2,100, but again, bouncing back a little bit. And Ethereum probably doing the same. Yep, well, a huge, big consolidation here. Let's go to 5-minute chart though, and the rest of these. So again, the markets go down, your cryptocurrency is going to go down. However, precious metals sometimes can go up on that. You look at silver. Oops, sorry. Silver's up, platinum's up, palladium's up, and Ford. That's about it. Let's see the heat map. So again, you got some mix here. It looks like the biggest companies, Microsoft down 0.9, Apple down 1.71%, Adobe down, Oracle up, Google down, Facebook down, Amazon down, Tesla down. Ford looks pretty good. Okay. Oh, there we go. How is this possible? How the heck? All right, 3 minutes left. All right, bear with me for a second here. Interesting. Okay, 2 minutes left. Let's see what we got going on here. So Dow down 127. Let's pull all these indexes up. Come on. 1 minute to close. So Dow's down 123, S&P's down 285, NASDAQ Composite down 5. So 1.57% on the QQQs, which is NASDAQ Composite Index. You have the SPY, the SP 500 down 3.03, which is 0.78%, almost a percent, and the Dow taking a 0.44% hit. So really, it's all about the NASDAQ. And again, you look on the heat map and see the technology sectors, all red. All red, all the big ones. Tesla, look at Tesla. Down 4.4%. And that's going to do it. So big red day on the market today. When I sell Tesla at 663, and it's at 686. Shouldn't have sold. Still be up 20 bucks on my shares of that. All right, folks. Well, I hope you got something out of this today. It is now 1 o'clock. The markets are now closed. And that's going to do it for us today. So I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you're watching this on the rewind portion and I didn't bore you, we've been streaming here for about 3 hours, 53 minutes or so. And we're going to take a look at cryptocurrencies. We take a look at precious metals, building your wealth, creating income streams. The markets are one way you can create income streams. An example of that is if you want to make $100 a day in the market, if you had 1,000 shares of something, you're basically looking at 10 cents, right? That's the only move you needed to make. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. And thanks for joining us today, and we will see you all tomorrow.